Netflix just aired the last part of season 6 of Bojack Horseman, so we're going to rank all 6 Bojack Horseman seasons from worst to best. Hey everybody, my name is Justin. I love to watch movies. If you guys do too, you guys are in the right spot. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and click that notification for more up and coming videos. Today we're going to be ranking all 6 of the Bojack Horseman seasons from worst to best. This is such an outstanding show that is so funny, so realistic, but so depressing. I actually just started watching this show back in December, and I binged all of the seasons leading up to season 6 part 2, so I was really anticipated. I fell in love with these characters: Bojack, Princess Carolyn, Todd, Diane, Mr. Peanut Butter, and all of the other side characters we got. It is such an outstanding show, and I wish I would have watched it when it first aired because it would have been just a fun journey, but here we are now. So before I do give you my list, how would you rank all 6 of the seasons? What is your least favorite and what is your favorite of the 6th season? So coming at number 6 is season 5. One of the most notable things in season 5 is when Bojack Horseman's mother dies and he gives a 20-minute eulogy that is, it's so dark. Even some of the jokes, I'm just like, ooh, that's a very touchy. But Bojack Horseman doesn't hold back. Bojack also hosts a Halloween party. Diane goes on a trip to discover more of herself. She divorces Mr. Peanut Butter. This season has a lack of focus, and for like the first few episodes, I never felt like it was about Bojack Horseman. It was about all the other characters. And a lot of the seasons do have some storylines for our main characters, but I didn't feel like Bojack Horseman was like properly introduced until a later part of the season. It's still really funny, but I think that this show just has a lack of focus what it wants to do for some of their characters. It has a good storyline for Diane, but it's kind of like then all over the place, and certain episodes just seem to focus on one gag that never really is that funny in the first place. With what had happened at the end of season 4 with Bojack and Hollyhock, I expected certain storylines to be more progressed in season 5, but we just did not get that. And at times the plot for season 5 is very unrewarding, and I just didn't get much out of it compared to other seasons. Coming in at number 5 is season 1. The reason why this sits at number 5 is just it's trying to find its footing. It's trying to balance that humor with some of those darker moments. Bojack teams up with Diane to write his memoirs. Bojack publishes his book. Season 1 is very easygoing. It doesn't try to raise the stakes at all. It's trying to find its footing, trying to find that good balance. It's trying to introduce the characters and build up the relationships. And being the first season of such a popular show, and even The Office as well, and usually are kind of tough because it takes some time to get introduced to the characters, understand them, enjoy them. Nonetheless, it's still a really entertaining series, and we get the relationship between Diane and Bojack and them writing his memoir. And then Todd is in here as well. It's just so fun when he's in prison. And their relationship is very strong in season 1 and grows throughout the rest of the seasons. Coming in at number 4 is season 3. This is the one where Bojack Horseman attends the Pacific Ocean Film Festival. Bojack is dealing with the success of Secretariat, which he's been building up for the last 2 seasons. And it leads him on to just like some of the worst parts of his life. Just, it's so depressing how he handles that fame and everything. It's so dark. He's trying to win that Oscar, and relationships with other are starting to fall apart. It's where we get into some more heavier moments within Bojack's life. Like I said previously, and when I was doing a review for season 6, is that the show is just so realistic in how he's dealing with trying to win an Oscar and what had happened with that. It's so realistic of how he handled it and what happens after that. Season 3 was such a great season, though. I do enjoy a lot of the moments. It's still really funny. And it had just a roller coaster of emotions. Coming in at number 3 is Season 2. Season 2 where we finally got the footing going and we got to understand some of the characters. We fell in love with Princess Carolyn more, and Todd and Mr. Peanut Butter, and more of their relationships and how complex they were, and some things that Bojack Horseman was doing within the show, and some relationships that he had set up added a lot to the character as well. We get a little more understanding of his show horsing around, and some of the actors and actresses like Sarah Lynn, who played on that show, and how they are now as grown-ups. What I appreciate a lot about season 2 is how they built up these relationships and made them really complex, had these dynamics that worked. Some relationships did not work, and we got to see that within season 2, and some definitely felt very strong. Coming in at number 2 is season 6. Season 6 was split into 2 parts, and I enjoy the second half a lot more than the first half, where there's a lot of just things happening that had its lack of focus, because we had Bojack checking himself into a rehab center, and that all seemed to happen really quick within the first few episodes of the first half of season 6. But we got some storylines that were starting to be wrapped up with our main characters and Mr. Peanut Butter with his divorce with Diane, and we had him now dating Pickles, and him realizing how his past relationships with Jessica Biel just did not work, and coming to realization that he may not be a perfect person. And then we had Diane dating Guy in Chicago. There's a lot of different things that are happening for these characters. They're all kind of separated. Princess Carolyn wants to be a mother, but they're all still felt very connected, which I did appreciate. And Bojack Horseman is really trying to turn his life around. And you can really honestly feel that within this series, within this season, especially part 2. He wants to do good, but things are really just challenging him. It's really just bringing him down. He wants to remain sober, but things are just piling on top of him. And it's so dark. Some of the context and some of the subject matter and conversations that he has in here are just really depressing and so realistic, and just really could bring anybody down if they were had these things brought to light about them. And I think that the show at times quickly tries to wrap up certain characters. But coming in at number 1 is season 4. Season 4 is by far my favorite season of all 6. The relationship between Bojack and Hollyhock, and he thinks that it is his daughter, and him realizing that, he's got to step up. It's hard for the character to deal with. And he's also dealing with his mother as well, that she has nowhere to go, so he takes her home. And that relationship, he absolutely hates it. It's so dark how he treats his mother, but it deals a lot with the past and the present as well. I really liked Hollyhock as a character. She was a great introduction to the show. She challenged the character of Bojack. We got a main focus of Bojack within this series. Within this season, we do have storylines for the other characters as well, but I really did like the storyline for Bojack and Hollyhock and his mother within season 4. It was my favorite part of the whole show, honestly, and how complex and realistic and deep all of their conversations was in exploring the past for most of those characters. Really brought just some depth to these characters and made me think that, his life is very complex, and he's dealing with a lot. He's an alcoholic. He's not the nicest character there ever was, but we got to see kind of why he acts the way he does, and I think it was handled in such a great way. So there you guys have it, all 6 seasons of Bojack Horseman ranked worst to best. How would you rank the seasons from worst to best? It is a great show. I really did enjoy the series, and I wish I started watching it in 2014 when the first season aired on Netflix, but I'm glad I watched it. I am glad I actually just sat down and decided to watch it. I had friends tell me in the past, Justin, you have to watch Bojack. I'm like, I don't want to watch it. It looks stupid. It is stupid at times with its humor, but overall, it's just a deep, dark, depressing show that, God, makes you think about things. Thank you guys for going to the video for all 6 seasons ranked worst to best. Make sure to leave your ranking list down below. My name is Just Watch Movies, and you guys stay classy, too.